Let's talk to Kate Ferguson up at Birmingham and the Reform Conference. Kate, very good morning to you.
Hi, Mike. Nice to see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that after we spoke yesterday that it would have got worse for Angela Rayner, but it's all kind of disappearing down the gurgler quicker than you can say resignation, isn't it? You know, the law firm has come out and said, we didn't give her any tax advice. So if she thinks it was wrong, it's wrong.
It's a blistering statement from that law firm. This was always, I think, where the issue was going to come down to. If she had got this advice, did she fully disclose all of her financial affairs? You can only get the tax advice, the legal advice, on the basis of what you told them.
Right.
And they have been very clear last night that they weren't told about the trust, about the intricacies of her financial arrangements, and therefore they gave the kind of very basic online calculator number. But we now know, don't we, that Angela Rayner's affairs are much more complicated than that. So yeah, this is a savage statement for Rayner, and it does look increasingly difficult to see how she survives this.
Exactly. And when you read the statement that they've given, when they say basically things like, you know, the stamp duty for the whole flat, as you say, was calculated using HRC's own online calculator based on the figures and the information provided by Ms. Rayner. That's what we use, and it told us we had to pay $30,000 based on the information provided to us. She's practically saying, is she not, that maybe she didn't give us all the information?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're saying. And, you know, they've got their own reputation, business reputation to defend. Yeah, so I'm not surprised they've come out quite scrappily and quite clear about that. I mean, this is a little high street firm, you know, run by the same family. There's a mother and two daughters. It's a little kind of blink and you miss it practice on the high street. This is not your kind of big, complex, legal, sophisticated practice. So, you know, they will do what based on what the information that Rayner has told them.
Right.
So, you know, politically as well, I do think that it's getting increasingly difficult. We're all sort of here refreshing our email, our WhatsApps to see if there's any sign that a statement's going to be coming from Downing Street.
Well, I see that Douglas Alexander's been put out to kind of, you know, do the rounds this morning, and he's slightly changed the message, hasn't he? He's not saying, you know, we stand by Angela Rayner, you know, she hasn't done anything wrong, she's made a mistake, which is what they were saying yesterday. Today they're saying, let's wait until all the facts are gathered by the ethics commissioner, and let's see when he provides those facts to Keir Starmer what then happens, but we have to wait for the facts, which is quite a subtle move, but it's an important one.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Their messaging's totally changed. So we kicked off the week with these kind of sexist, classist briefings against her, standing by our woman, to try to keep their powder dry. Can't prejudge the facts. It's not Guy anymore. The ethics advisor will report back any day now. So, you know, that is important. That suggests that they are concerned about the findings.
No, quite. And I mean, you're up at Birmingham for the Reform Conference, which gets underway today. I'm told there's a few concerns that Angela might, in her sort of final last-ditch, you know, screw-up of reform, announce that she's resigning just before Nigel Farage speaks at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, Farage's big speak at 4 p.m. Gosh, who knows? I mean, how mean that would be of her. I suspect she may just want to get this out of the way with a bit earlier, if she can, if the writing's on the wall. It's also, once the report's in situations like this, obviously people have sight of it quite quickly, and you kind of can't really stop the dam bursting. It will leak if you don't put it out.
Right.
So I think we could see things move quite swiftly today. But yeah, up at Birmingham today, lots of the lobby here in Birmingham. Excited to see Nigel's kind of big speech. He's got a interview in one of the newspapers today talking about how they're preparing for government. So they're obviously feeling quite confident on the reform venture.
Well, I mean, this is the first proper big conference, really, because last year they didn't quite manage it, did they? They sort of, you know, but they're now such a serious party that they have to be taken seriously by the likes of you and the rest of the people in the lobby. And I mean, also a big boost for them getting Nadine Dorries over.
Yes, this is the big defection. We were expecting a defection. We were wondering who it would be, because in the conference catalogue it says Nigel Farage is going to be introduced by a special guest. Some were wondering if it might be Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's on defection watch. It's Nadine Dorries. I mean, I think this is a good scalp for them, really. She was obviously a very high-profile Conservative, very close to Boris Johnson. I think it's her closeness to Boris Johnson that some people in the Conservative Party ranks are most concerned about.
Yeah, because we were hearing from somebody at the New Statesman on the news today who said, you know, this surely is now a message that Boris isn't coming back to the Tory party, and she's basically said the Tory party's dead and finished.
Yeah, exactly. So people have, whenever Boris was off the scene, the question immediately becomes, when might he return?
Yeah.
And I think it was about 4 or 5 months ago, there really were rumours flying around that not so much that Boris was properly contemplating it, but a lot of his former aides, his former allies, were trying to get the old gang back together and see if they could persuade him out of retirement, as it were. But clearly Nadine going over to Reform suggests that she doesn't think that's on the cards at any point in his parliamentary term. So that tells you a lot about the Conservative Party, as well as about the confidence of Reform, that they're able to get people over and keep building their ranks. Yeah. And that is important for Reform because while they will very much want to be their own beast, their own political party, they don't want to be the Tories 2019 2.0, but they do need to build a kind of infrastructure, have people around advising them that have some experience of government. You've got the Scottish elections, the Welsh elections, all before the general election. So they do need to kind of build up that political experience and base that maybe they've been lacking.
Yeah. It's going to be a fascinating weekend, I think, for all sorts of reasons. I'm coming up later on, so I shall see you perhaps somewhere for a glass of something fizzy.
Lovely. Sounds very nice.
Great to see you.